Okay, good morning. I am Mohammed Nuru, the Director of San Francisco Public Works, and I want to begin by thanking all of you for coming out here to celebrate this major milestone of our Moscone expansion project. The completion of Phase 2 of Moscone project. As I can tell you, or as you can tell, just looking around here, the paint has barely dried off this room. It's been quite a challenging project when we started in between conferences and accommodating everyone and really trying to get the project done. And next week we have a convention coming in. Even the sidewalks that we came in, when I was here about 10 days ago, there was nothing out here. So let's give it to all the workers who did all this job. Great job. Not only does this building have a gorgeous new ballroom and more spacious exhibition halls, flexible meeting rooms, and incredible area filled with a lighted lobby, Phase 2 of this project is a game changer. This project is extremely beautiful, it's well designed, and worked within a very tight timeline. Next week, we will have thousands of convention attendees in this building, and I'm pretty sure that you all agree on one thing. San Francisco is a world-class city with world-class facilities. We wouldn't be here today without the hard work and dedication and determination of a great project team. And I really want to stress how hard the crews from Public Works and WebCorps have been working hard in the last few months. The Public Works project managers, Brooke Mobratu and Yusuf Bahama, and their project team were here every day making sure that this project was moving smoothly and all the challenges that they faced. I also want to take this time to give a few shout outs to many of our partners and many people who made this project happen. I would begin by thanking our city architect and our deputy director, Edgar Lopez. Lynn Fazioli, the director of the San Francisco Tourism Improvement District Corporation and Moscone Expansion. Our great architecture team, Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, SOM. Partnered with him, associate architects Mark Cavanero and Associates, they were part of this. Of course, Jess and his team, WebCorps Builders, and the guys behind me, many of them. The city's Department of Building Inspection, led by Tom Huey, Ed Sweeney, Dan Lowry, and Mark Walls, all from DBI, coming and making all those regular inspections and making sure everything was built to code. The Director of Convention Facilities, John Noguchi. From the very beginning of this project, trying to figure out how this project was going to get paid for, and how were we going to be able to make sure we had all the money. Our city controller, Ben Rosenfield, and finance director, Nadia Sese, and her team. From the planning department, led by John Ram, Elizabeth Wadi, and Elizabeth Pearl of planning, they all worked to make sure that all those permits and all the CEQA and everything was done timely, so please, a big hand for all of them. The success of this project was truly a team effort, and one we could have not accomplished without the leadership of our visionary leader and the captain of our city, Mayor Ed Lee. Please welcome me in joining him to say a few words.
Thank you, Mohammed. How's this feel? All right. Well, there is a reason why tourism and conventions is the #1 economic driver in the city, because the people that are running everything from our convention bureau to our hotel council to this wonderful facility, Moscone Center, the teams that were put together, planning, building inspection, fire, working under the leadership of DPW, had one thing in common from the start. And it was something that I know, President Reed, that you understand even more these days, and certainly Supervisor Kim, a lesson that I learned some time ago when I was working for the great Mayor Willie Brown. You put a deadline that you cannot cross. And that deadline suggests to the city that if we can't have a large convention here, our city's going to be hurt. If we can't have this additional space, we'll continue losing to some other jurisdictions. We can't build the confidence with some of the largest entities that want to have hundreds of thousands of people in our city at a time when we really need that tourism. You got to have that deadline honored. And this is what I wanted this morning, is to congratulate all and everyone that was associated with the opening of Phase 2, from our finance people to the contractors at WebCore to the designers at SOM, working directly with all of the people here, and in particular to thank DPW, because we are the go-to department, aren't we? And this was put in good hands with the deadlines, but it was very clear that everybody had to respect it and honor it so that we can really have this particular day to cut a ribbon and know that a Board of Supervisors and I, in dealing with the budget, will continue having a great source of revenue for the city, because it is the #1 economic driver, but also for the city as a whole, that for years to come, we'll have those conventions of everything from the medical industry to the technical world, all here because we did the right thing by expanding this center. And we did it in a way in which it didn't cost the city much money. In fact, it was kind of raised by all of the different business concerns, including the Moscone Center expansion team itself. So I want to just give a hearty congratulations. This, I think it was about a $550 million effort that was put in to get at least an additional 500,000 square feet of space to expand our center. But it will really make sure that these large conventions will continue to come in, and it'll make sure that the tourism and convention industry remains our #1 industry in San Francisco. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you for completing Phase 2 of the Moscone Center. All right.
Okay, next I'll ask the President of our Board of Supervisors, London Breed, to come up and say a few quick words.
Hi, everybody. You know what's so interesting about today is it's like deja vu and musical chairs all in one. You see, I was an intern for our former Mayor Willie Brown back in the 90s, and at the time, our Mayor Ed Lee was the head of the Department of Public Works, and I remember being in a staff meeting where Mayor Brown said, "When the hell am I going to get my sidewalks back at Moscone West?" And that was a constant push to you. You remember that, Mayor, when we first pushed to get Moscone West done. We got it done. We increased capacity then. We increased tax revenue in the city then. And here we are today doing an even better job by adding Phase 2, which is not only going to increase capacity so we can host these conventions, it's also going to increase capacities in our hotels, in our restaurants, in our small businesses, our tax revenue, as the mayor said, and make San Francisco economy that much better. I'm excited, and I can't wait to see Phase 3. Thank you all so much.
As this project was taking shape and we were trying to get all the approvals, especially the role we had to play with the community in making sure that the community was okay with the size of the expansion and all the concerns that they had, our supervisor from the district has been very supportive and made sure that the community understood what project we were trying to bring forth and all the concerns during the project. Please welcome Supervisor Jane Kim.
Thank you, Director Nehru. It is really great to be here on this day, and I just want to congratulate the entire team for doing so much in this one project. As someone that represents a multi-use district where we welcome tourists and workers and also are a true neighborhood for families and seniors and residents, the Moscone expansion had a lot of work to do to make sure that it could fulfill many of these needs. One, as the mayor and our president mentioned, we know that the Moscone expansion is an economic driver. Not only did it hire on average 400 employees a day during construction, it will be an increase in generating revenue for a city that will help us fund healthcare services, education, childcare, and so many things that we believe that we should be providing to the citizens of San Francisco. But Moscone is not just in a tourism district, it is also a true neighborhood. Across the street, we have residents, we have affordable senior housing and public housing, and so a lot of work was done to make sure that this would not just be an enhancement for our convention and tourism industry, but it would also be an enhancement for our residents to live here. So improving our play circle, expanding our walkable and pedestrian safety streets. I also biked here on bike share and parked my bike across the street. All of these things are going to be ways that we can enhance our neighborhood as well. But finally, something that we probably didn't anticipate is that this building will be a symbol of our resistance. We believe here in San Francisco that climate change is happening and that we have a responsibility to play our part. So I'm so proud that the Moscone Center will be zero emissions by completion. We have to demonstrate as a progressive city and as a progressive city with wealthy resources that we can display a different vision of this country, and that is by agreeing to our commitments to make sure that we are making this world a better place for generations to come. But finally, I think the biggest accomplishment is that this project was done on time. Yeah, so thank you. Director Nehru understands. So I want to thank Public Works and his team, Brooke and John Noguchi and Travel Center. I have friends who have bathrooms that are supposed to take 3 months and it takes 14 months. This is an incredible accomplishment for our city, just in time for our first convention next week, I believe. So thank you again to everyone for getting this done.
Thank you, Jane. This project was not just a city-led project, as you heard from the mayor. It was actually a partnership. And now we'll hear from the board chair of the San Francisco Tourism Improvement District Corporation, and he's also the general manager of the Marriott Marquis, Chuck Percy. Please come on up, say a few words.
Thank you for the golf clap. I appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning. Hospitality, come on, everybody wake up. Well, this is really cool to be here today. Having been part of the city on 2 separate tours back in 2000, I got to see Moscone West open, and now being back here since 2013 to be part of this amazing transformation is very cool for me and for all the hotels in this city. You know, San Francisco is a convention city. We are not just a city that does conventions, and there's a major distinction between those two. And having a building like this that signifies that we can all be proud of, and that helps us transition forward, is a very exciting time for all the hotels in this city. We do have some customers that are here with us today, and on behalf of all the hotels in the city, just want to recognize them. Semicon, UBM Game Developers, Oracle, American Academy of Ophthalmology, I was worried about that word, and GSMA. You know, we've done something, I give them a round of applause. being able to pull this off while you stay open and keep the city busy has been a miracle to watch. It's been a true team effort between everybody involved at Moscone Center, the team at San Francisco Travel, and all of the hotels and people who work in them to make this a reality. And you guys have pulled it off. It's really a miracle how well we've done and continue to do. So on behalf of all the hotels in the city, we appreciate everything that's been done. We appreciate the efforts of all the workers, all the people at the center, everybody at San Francisco Travel to make this happen, and we're excited to be part of the future with you. Thank you.
A few people in the crowd I should acknowledge is former Mayor Willie Brown is in the house, and he really started the Moscone expansion. Please. Our fire chief, Joanne Hayes' wife, who inspectors have been very supportive, especially getting those alarm systems. From the police department, Daryl Frong, the captain for the area. And now it's my pleasure to bring my boss up and my partner, who we went all the difficult times of working out the details and making sure today would happen and that this project became a reality, from the financing part of it and moving monies around and talking to our partners. Welcome our city administrator, Norma Kelly.
Good morning. So, as Mohammed indicated, this project, and as the mayor talked about, we stayed on time. As the Board of Supervisors, we stayed on time, and we had a lot of curveballs thrown at us. Good ones, though. As Supervisor Kim talked about, the community. South of Market is now a thriving neighborhood. If you think back in 1981, it wasn't when this cutting-edge building was built in 1981, and as we've moved on. So as the parents in the community, as the neighbors came, as Yerba Buena Center for the Arts and Yerba Buena Gardens community came, we did more to an added scope to this project. We did everything to have a paseo come down, to add restaurants and have an inviting, walkable neighborhood. We increased and are enhancing the playground. We're looking at that bridge and how we can have a better design. All of that was added scope, and we still stayed on time. What we had just talked about is that this building stayed open while we did construction. We had conferences coming in left and right, and many of those conferences wanted absolute silence, as you can imagine, with jackhammering going on. So Brooke and his team was very creative in coming up with sound walls. We had liaisons, and there was many times where they wanted us to stop construction, and we did, and we made up and still stayed on time. So thank you to WebCorp, Brooke, SF Travel, all of you who worked hard and creative to meet this deadline, but yet show the customer service that we know how to give in San Francisco. Also, the job, Supervisor Kim talked about that. We are responsible for 3,400 temporary jobs, this project alone, and nearly 1,000 permanent jobs. That is excellent. We should clap for that. Thank you, everyone, for celebrating this milestone today.
Thank you, Naomi. One more speaker, another great partner from the San Francisco Travel Board, Chair and Managing Director of Corporate and Government Affairs of United Airlines. Please welcome Melinda Yee Franklin. Say a few words.
Thank you, Mohammed. So Lynn Fazzaroli, our project manager, great job, and thank you for your partnership. I've managed to tour this site probably 3 or 4 times now, and every time the progress has been tremendous, and I've gotten to interact with some of the folks you see behind us, and just true professionals. It's been a joy, so thank you, Mohammed, as well. On behalf of San Francisco Travel, thank you for all of you for your dedication in making the Moscone expansion a reality. It's been talked about for the past 10 years, and really to see this today really is inspirational. I know phase 3 will be occurring within the next year or so as well. From early on conversations about the location of an expansion to creating a unique funding model, and now standing here today to open the first part of the new building, San Francisco welcomes over 24 million visitors each year, and more than 20% of those pass through the doors of the Moscone Center. It's important that San Francisco stay competitive with expanded, upgraded convention facilities. We are truly competing with convention centers around the country and around the world. This project has achieved that. When the project is complete, we will have over 500,000 square feet of contiguous exhibition space, more than 80 meeting rooms, a visitor information center, and many upgraded neighborhood amenities, as Naomi mentioned. I'm happy to welcome you here today to see and celebrate the Moscone Center, and let's cut that ribbon. Thanks.
All right, Melinda, you're right. We will cut the ribbon. But before we cut the ribbon, let's give a big hand again to all the workers who made this happen. Okay, now I can bring my big old scissors out. Where's the ribbon? Where's the ribbon? Oh, the